Hey everyone, happy Saturday. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to kind of give you guys an update on how the fall quarter ended, let you know how my grades were and how my classes were and all of that, and just kind of let you guys know what's going to be going on with me this quarter personally and of course academically. So I'll just start right off with kind of, I guess, the last 2 weeks of the fall quarter, which were pretty crazy. As you guys know, the quarter system is 10 weeks with 1 week for finals at the end. And it was just a lot. I was taking 18 units, which was 4 classes, 2 Ling classes. I was taking phonology and syntax, and then a communications class, which was like conversation analysis, and an art class, which was just like an upper division elective. I needed more upper division units, and that one was available, and it was actually pretty fun. But for the other 3 classes, those were a lot of work. Not that I didn't expect to do work, but it was just like an overwhelming amount of work, a lot of frustration and like tears, honestly. Like, especially for phonology, that class was so difficult for me. Like, I honestly can't even believe I passed because it was so hard. I literally went to office hours every week. I spent hours mulling over the homework, and then we had these weekly quizzes that I would like pretty much fail. For syntax, that class started off pretty easy, then I took the midterm, didn't do as well on the midterm as I thought I did. Like, I finished the midterm early and I thought it was pretty easy, but then when I got it back, it wasn't horrible. I got like an 83, but I expected to get like, I don't know, closer to like 90. And then I was like, okay. And then basically from the midterm until the final, it was like hell. Like, it was just so difficult. It got so hard. For my conversation analysis class, it was like, there were 5 assignments. It wasn't equally split, but just for the sake of this video, I'll just say each one was worth 20% of my grade. And so the first one, like, I did really well on. I got like an A. She was like, you did great. And then they progressively got worse. And I didn't understand why I kept getting these bad grades on these assignments. And then like, she would just leave really vague comments like, oh, you're kind of missing some detail here, but she wouldn't tell me what detail I was missing. So it was hard to know. And then like by the last assignment, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna get on this assignment, and I don't even know how to improve my performance because I go to section, I've been to her office hours, like I've been doing the readings and attending class, like I never miss class ever. And so I was just like, what is going on? But then I did well on it and I ended up with an A in that class, which really surprised me, honestly, because yeah, the trend of my grades was not good, but I guess I did well enough on the last assignment to make up for all the other ones. You don't actually get to see your final grade on that final assignment, so I'll never know what I got, but I knew that I was gonna have these exams, and I knew based on my performance, especially for phonology, I knew based on my performance on the quizzes, I was like, I have no idea how I'm gonna handle the final. And I had gone and talked to my professor a lot, and she was like, you'll be fine, don't worry about it, but I kind of felt like she didn't really understand how far behind I was falling in that class. Like, I really like would go to class and not understand like anything, despite, you know, paying attention, doing the homework, going to section and reading the textbook. Like, I just didn't really understand it. Like, I understood what to do, if that makes sense, but when it actually came time to doing it, I didn't really know where to start, because a lot of phonology is like pattern recognition, and basically practice makes perfect. And the more you practice, the better you get at recognizing these patterns. But it's just like when you go into, for example, the quizzes that we had every week, you had 15 minutes for the quiz. If they give you, you know, 15 or 20 words in a foreign language and say, okay, like, you know, what is the pattern within this language? I literally would probably spend 12 minutes just looking at the language data and trying to figure out what the pattern is. And that's not even writing the rule or doing the analysis or like, you know, applying that rule to other forms of words that you haven't seen before. So it was really difficult. I want to talk to you guys on a more uplifting note about my art class, which I really liked. This class was called 10 Questions Centennial Edition. Basically, it's Art 100, I think, Art and Architecture 100, really cool class. Every week there's a different theme, and every week there is a panel of kind of experts in their respective fields. Some of them may be professors at UCLA, some of them may just be out in the world, people who, you know, are good at whatever. And there's always one artist on the panel, and they all address whatever the topic is of the week. Like one week it was like, what is nature? what is love, what is, I think, community, what is a university. So it was really cool. And the discussion was pretty chill. We got to do these like different art presentation things that were cool. And the only thing was that class was like, the lecture was like 4 hours and it was at night. So it was from 5 to 9 on Tuesdays. And it was like so exhausting for me. Like after that class, like during the class, like sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it would be pretty boring. Most of the speakers were really good, but every once in a while you just get the one person who doesn't really know how to engage their audience very well, you know, despite being an expert in their field. That doesn't mean they're a good public speaker. So it was interesting to say the least, but I did really enjoy it. And I think if you go to UCLA and you're looking for electives, take it. It was really interesting. With all of the pressure and everything of school, you know, the end of the quarter was crazy. I was studying and trying to go to the library, you know, there's nowhere to sit. Come home, it was like kind of a stressful environment. I wasn't getting along too well with my roommates. And I was just so sick and tired of being in LA, because you guys know that I'm not from LA and I honestly don't really like LA. I was kind of at the point in the quarter where it was like, I don't even care, which of course is not the ideal mentality for me to have, but I mean, I was burnt out, honestly. Wouldn't recommend taking 18 units, but despite this, I did come out on top and get all A's in my classes. I really have no idea how I pulled that off. I had kind of like given up on my dream of graduating with Latin honors, but now I feel like it's still feasible. I do have to work a little bit harder. I'm not quite there yet. I think the minimum GPA for cum laude is like 3.75 and I have like a 3.71, which is so annoying, but you know what? It's fine, because after this quarter, I think I'll be able to get there. So personally, there was also a lot going on in my life aside from school. Like I said a moment ago, I was super homesick. My best friend had a baby and I wasn't there, and like just all this stuff with my family that I was like, I can't believe I'm missing out on this. So it was kind of hard to take, you know, from 400 miles away. And so then on top of all of that, I finished my final on, all of my finals were at like 8 a.m. Can we discuss why? I don't know. I'm cursed. Anyway, so I finished my final at like 8 a.m. on a Wednesday. And then I'm like, I've got all my stuff packed and ready to go. I was driving home by myself, which was like, I was looking forward to. I really like driving. It's a beautiful trip on 101 up to San Jose, and I was like super excited. So I got home on a Wednesday, and then I want to say like on Monday, I went to my friend's house, and then she lives a mile and a half, maybe 2 away from me. We visited for a while. I met her baby and all that, and then I decided to go home. Just minding my own business. It's rush hour traffic, of course. I have to drive maybe a mile and a half home, and my car breaks down. And this is not the first time this has happened to me. This is the first time that had happened to me in my car, but not the first time this has happened to me. I have had a car break down on me 3 separate times, 3 separate cars. I'm like a pro at it. So while I was internally freaking out, I was able to keep my composure and just call AAA and be on my merry way. And they came after 500 years. They couldn't find me. Don't know why. I was like in one of the busiest intersections in my town, whatever. I wasn't expecting this at all. You know, my car was 16 years old, but it worked like a charm. My mom was the original owner. She took excellent care of it, and I did as well. I was expecting to at least be able to graduate, probably get a job, work for a year or so, and then think about getting a new car. But obviously that's not what the universe had in store for me. And here we are today. So yeah, took my car and it was the alternator and the battery, and basically that cost $1,000 to fix it. I had to fix it because I didn't have any money for a down payment, so I had to trade in that car in order to get a new car. So I had planned to come home at Christmas break and put on new tires and fix the headlights and do an alignment and all sorts of like basic maintenance, housekeeping stuff to it. But at this point, I talked with my mom and we just came to the decision that it wasn't worth as much money as we were going to put into it. So, you know, it's a machine, it breaks after a while, and we decided that it would be best for me just to buy a new car. Not a new car, but, you know, a different car. So I did buy my first car. I'm not going to say what kind of car it is because I don't think that I want to share that with 2,000 strangers on the internet, but it's a nice car. It's not a new car, like I said, it's a used car, but it's new to me. My other car was 16 years old. It didn't have Bluetooth or anything like that. This car has that, so I'm really excited about it, but I do have the car payment, which is reasonable. I would never get myself into something that I didn't see myself getting out of. That's not financially responsible, but I do, you know, it's a reasonable car payment, definitely. I do need a job now. So I was planning on getting a job anyway because I wanted some disposable income, but obviously now I need one just to be able to pay my bills and to drive my car. So I've been applying to a lot of jobs. Hopefully one of them will get back to me. You know, it's something that I'm actively pursuing. My friend Vanessa that I studied with for my syntax final, she said her job is hiring, so I'm looking into that as well, and we'll just see what happens. But basically, as a result of that, my winter break was not relaxing whatsoever. On top of all of that, I'm in the process of moving out of my mom's house into my dad's house. We're remodeling my dad's house, and I had to move all my stuff in there. We're like painting and fixing things and cleaning, and it's just like a whole mess, but it's life. What can you do? Hopefully your guys' break was a little bit more relaxing than mine, but if not, we're all in this together. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm constantly posting new content about transferring, community college, UCLA, things of that sort. And my next video will be Saturday at 3 p.m., which is when I will see you next. Thank you all so much. Bye.